Wrestling Debate.
Clearly, Triple H needs somebody to feud with, so Sting's a good option if Sting's wrestling. But I don't know. It sounds like they might be pushing for a Ryback feud, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it is close. Hell, I mean, after Survivor Series times, I would be shocked if that's the Ryback's feud for Mania is against Triple H.
And now here's Tyler Warner and Wayne Kirch.
Yes, welcome everybody to the Great Wrestling Debate, and welcome back, Wayne.
Yes, I'm back.
Fortunately, yeah, last week we didn't have you on because of the snowy weather and everything. But yeah, we have
which
you
is
back.
Gone, by the way. It's all gone.
Yeah, it melted pretty quickly, but yeah, I mean, it's I guess a good time to come back because we have a lot to talk about. Not as much WWE as we have to talk about with CM Punk podcasts and Vince McMahon and Stone Cold Steve Austin podcasts and everything else, obviously. So it was a very eventful week. So right off the bat, this show will mostly we'll do like a brief run through of what happened on Raw, which has kind of been uneventful the past couple of weeks, and then we'll.
I already missed the Authority already.
Yeah, that's and
it's like the show's better. It's like no, it's not.
I'm in agreement with that right now. I mean, at least there's no the past couple of weeks. It's just been like I don't know. Everything's just been anticlimactic or however you want to put it.
Well, once again, the babyfaces walk out tall this time because Big Red Eric Rowan saved the day with a steel stab.
Yeah.
Big Red Eric Rowan is his nickname now.
Yeah, it seems like
I see a lawsuit happening in. What was this like? Big Red, like a soda drink or something?
Yeah. I have
Big Red Eric. Oh
no, isn't that the gum? Like the.
The red, Big Red gum.
That's right. Yeah. It's like
there's also a soft drink called a Big Red too. But
there probably is, but
Big Red Eric Rowan.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he comes out dressed in all black, and I don't know. Maybe if he came out dressed in red, it would make more sense. But I don't know. But yeah, I mean, Raw opened up basically with a Seth Rollins and Cena promo.
The Anonymous Wall GM, which apparently never saw the light of day after the opening segment.
Yeah, and made its appearance on the week before on Raw at the end. All of a sudden, you had the text tone or whatever, and Michael Cole going.
Yeah, and everybody just groaned.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, it just I don't know. It doesn't. I don't see how it fits in here with what's going on.
I keep this still playing as anonymous. There was a great post that said, "We all know it's Hornswoggle." So
why
are you hiding this?
Yeah, at least according to what happened a few years ago.
It wasn't that long ago, actually, Tyler. I think it might have been only maybe. Might be 3 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, it was.
No. 2 years ago, because it happened when Cole. Yeah. Because
Cole had that feud with Jerry Lawler.
Well, I actually think I think Cole was still slightly heel a bit. I think it happened like somebody after WrestleMania 28. I want to say, which was when Cole was still a heel. The day Cole's heel character died was when Jerry Lawler had his heart attack.
Right. Yeah.
On Raw, and of course, Cole giving his best wishes to Jerry Lawler can't be the bad guy anymore.
Right.
So, but no. I remember the Anonymous Wall GM in that, and Santino was saying had I think detective gear on, he was trying to I guess it probably that might have been when if I remember, I think maybe another Sherlock Holmes movie came out maybe around that time.
Yeah.
But no, I remember that he did a comedy bit and it ends up being Hornswoggle with a laptop there, and Jerry Lawler was like, "Oh, it was you, Hornswoggle?" It's like I had to beat you over my knee, something like that.
Yeah.
And because I guess it's like Jerry comes out, it's like, "Oh, so you're the reason why I lost my match at WrestleMania, my only match at WrestleMania too."
Yeah.
So I don't know, like I said, I can't believe they're even that stupid with their own product.
Yeah, people don't remember what that. Yeah, so I don't know. It's again, I don't know why they
don't mind bringing up past John Cena humor when it comes to Ryback and that, but when it comes to the Anonymous GM, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Just like Hornswoggle is not Vince's bastard child anymore, apparently either.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get. Again, I don't know where this whole Anonymous GM thing fits in with any of this.
No.
especially I thought the original idea was that Cena wins and he's like in control or whatever, and I guess apparently that's out the window because the anonymous role GM
Yeah.
makes this stipulation at TLC that if John Cena loses to Seth Rollins now in this I guess what will be the main event, then a new #1 contender will be determined.
Yes.
Which so I mean it's kind of I guess one of those things they're trying since Brock Lesnar there's no WWE Championship match until Royal Rumble it sounds like. I guess they're trying to find some kind of stipulation like they did with Survivor Series and to I guess make the match more meaningful rather than just Cena and Rollins just facing each other out of the blue. So yeah, I guess I don't know. I would think that Cena would retain keep his title match against
I
Brock
don't know.
Lesnar.
I'm just kind of mad that it's gonna be a table match closing. I mean, table matches are just not that entertaining.
Yeah, I mean,
you can only keep that suspense for so long here. I mean,
yeah.
it's not like a ladder match where it's like, oh, almost got it, got it, and you. But it's like a table match. It's like, oh, I was going for the table. I was going for the table.
Yeah.
But it's hard believability.
Unless there's something that comes out of nowhere occasionally.
Although technically, it's not really a TLC pay per view anymore, Tyler. Because one of the matches that got added recently is a stair match between Eric Rowan and Big Show.
Yeah.
So now it's TLCS: tables, ladders, chairs, and stairs.
Yeah, I guess, and that it makes a nice little rhyme there, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, that's it's kind of like a new kind of match there, I guess, in a sense. But
all it is both guys gonna have steel chairs as weapons. I'm sorry, no, steel stairs as weapons, and they're just gonna pound each other with stairs pretty much. Yeah. That's just really.
Yeah, the funny thing is too, I noticed Michael Cole in the announcement, they never call it the steel stairs until tonight.
Yeah.
I remember there's a point where he.
But you gotta say it, Tyler, because Eric Rowan's coming down, just destroying everybody.
But I mean, even before that, there was a point earlier in the night. I forget where but Michael Cole said right into the steel stairs. I'm like, oh, that's weird. I'm pretty sure 99 out of 100 times they say the steel steps. So later on in the night, then I guess it makes sense here. They this stairs match, I guess, to kind of rhyme it. I don't know, maybe be a little funny there, but I mean, other than that, now you got a new match also on the card, a chairs match with Ryback here,
or Stairwoods guy as we learned
as CM Punk,
as we learned from one person.
Yeah, which
Mr. Hardy, I guess.
Which we'll be getting to in the near future. Yeah, I mean, other than that on Raw, I mean, they made a lot of matches, I guess. They set up a lot of matches for TLC, and so I mean, I guess that's fine. I mean, it's a lot of matches with guys that were in the main event at Survivor Series now, kind of having their own unique feuds, and then they had the 3-on-3 main event 6-man tag match, of course, with Cena and Ziggler and Ryback standing tall at the end, and
with Eric Rowan too,
Eric
Big
Rowan
Red
coming out.
Yeah, just cleaned house. Of course, he doesn't run down to the ring. He walks slowly down the ring.
Yeah. So yeah, you had that ending, and yeah, I mean, pretty much mostly an uneventful Raw, kind of like last week. Again, kind of the good guys standing tall, no authority this week or whatever, but again, I would assume that down the road they'll be back at some point, and I thought Vince McMahon kind of hinted that last week when he kind of said somehow you're gonna fix this or whatever, and so yeah, I don't know, we'll see what happens, but yeah, I mean, I think we both kind of said before we started that we both kind of missed the authority after the past couple of weeks of Raw.
Clearly, these fans did not, because Seth was trying to beg them that the show got worse since they left.
Yeah.
Not better, worse. And clearly the fans disagreed, but I did tell those fans that they're idiots.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It seemed the crowd, they were one of those crowds that didn't, that wasn't I guess really anti-Cena and everything. So,
so maybe
that was part of it, but yeah.
What's the thing too? It's like once again you have Rollins trying to cut like this promo where it's like John, you gonna listen to these people if what they say to you, and it's like and I guess at that point they were expecting a Cena sucks chant to break out, but
Yeah.
a still used so this is the thing there too. And Rollins even admitted said this like an NXT event that he was a guest appearance for. He said, I think you guys are using this "you sold out" chant way too much. It says it's almost going to be it's
a year.
It's been over half a year since the Shield broke up.
Yeah, I think it's been like exactly half a year now.
Can we stop the whole "you sold out" deal?
Yeah.
deal? It's done.
The funny thing is too, now Big Show's starting to get those chants
Yes,
after what he
yes,
did.
his 30-second turn. I shit you not,
Yeah.
Tyler. Somebody actually did the math here. It's 30. This is 32nd
Really?
time. Just in WWE, he did the same shit in WCW too. It's like this guy just for some reason you can't make him his damn mind whether he's a baby face or a good guy.
Yeah.
It's just 32 times just in the WWE alone. There's actually even a video out that shows every single turn and heel that happened in the company, and that doesn't even have all 32 of them. He's missing some.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you miss something like that? And you know what? Kane's in a close second right behind him because Kane's got to have a high number too. That's also a guy who was a heel and a face, then a heel and a face.
Yeah. Not only that, this is like Big Show. This is like kind of like the same heel turn he's done the past couple of times. I think a knockout blow to John Cena out of nowhere, and taking sides with the Authority, or a couple years ago it was John Laurinaitis, of course, and we saw what happened after that. So
I'm still laughing at a guy who's been in the business for so long, and his excuse is still, "Oh, gotta look out for my family. I'm the breadwinner of the household." And it's like, oh my god, really?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
it's almost like worse when Shawn Michaels did that one feud with JBO back in the day, over like bad stock investments, and he almost went broke. And it's like, isn't he friends with like the son-in-law of the owner of the company? Couldn't they give him financial? I mean, they actually did acknowledge that too. And Sean's like, "Look, I'm my own man. I don't need any support from my friends." And it's just like, okay, but still, how ridiculous was that feud?
Yeah. So, I mean, other than that, I mean, again, we'll wait and see if maybe Raw picks up in the next couple of weeks as we head towards TLC. But yeah, obviously we got the big CM Punk podcast, a couple parts to talk about, and I guess some Vince McMahon from the other night with Stone Cold. As you page through your notes.
Yes, I did take
copious notes on the CM Punk podcast.
See, that's from today.
Obviously,
like I said, I just jotted down. I didn't even put bullet points. I just like jotted stuff down, and it's
right.
So interesting that, and I did in order too. So hopefully we can just flew some stuff.
Yeah.
Here.
Now.
Here the CM Punk notes.
Yeah. Now you did, and you did. I think it would have been around January or so when you called that.
It was the first show after the Rumble.
Yeah, because obviously that's when the CM Punk was leaving, and then we
talked about a lot of things.
Yeah,
things in that show.
I think Corey was on that day. And,
when it was a 3-man show.
Yeah,
that small stint when it was a short 3-man show, and then he's done with the product now. So he just said it makes
kind of done with that. Yeah,
yeah. There's no point. He has nothing good to say with the product. Like, well, neither do me and Tyler, but we still, we it's kind of like suffering every Monday night more than anything. It's like it's one of those like I swear to you, we're on an addiction dialer. It's there's nothing. There's no joy anymore watching this shit anymore. But we do it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, but anyways, we got the CM Punk note. Yeah, CM Punk notes.
Yes.
Here, obviously, we kind of you basically called that eventually. CM Punk would kind of share his side on the Colt Cabana podcast.
I mean, like I said, they've been friends. Like road buddies for how long now? And I mean, like I said, it could have been maybe Austin, it could have been Jericho. But at the end of the day, look, he only had one really guy who would probably give him this open platform because it wasn't really an interview. Really, you barely really heard Colt's voice.
Right?
It was more of, hey, here's a platform for my friend to finally say his grievances more or less. Yeah,
I mean, CM Punk, he went pretty in depth, like after the. I guess beginning with the pipe bomb promo, of course, where he at one point he says, "Hi, Colt Cabana." So a little bit of maybe symbolism there, but
which Punk later admitted was that he only said that randomly just because
Yeah.
he actually forgot what he was gonna say next.
Yeah.
And he's like thinking for a moment, and also he just looks at the camera and just goes, "Hey, Coca Man!" And finally he thought about what he was gonna say in the promo.
Yeah, but
Like I said, obviously there's two sides to every story.
right.
This is only one side, and I doubt we can get the second side to the story
Yeah.
here. But two sides to every story here. But for the record, I see no reason why Punk bullshits most of this.
Yeah,
Year.
and I mean,
Not saying I agree with everything the man said or
Right.
anything there, but I do see. I don't see any reason why he, especially the detail he went into with some of this stuff here. I
Yeah.
see no reason why he had the bullshit.
Yeah, and I mean, he said, like, right in the get go, he said, like, you know, he kind of covered his bases, like, you know,
Yeah.
if I get bitter or whatever, that's part of life and everything,
Yeah.
and that's, you know, I thought he was really, like, you know, kind of just straight up down to earth, and
Yeah.
and he kind of, you know, he said, I'm not, this is not trying to be a, you know, anti WWE or whatever, you know, this is just kind of raw emotion or whatever comes out. So
Actually, one of the first things that he brought up was the whole couch gag.
yeah,
Bit of it, and he said like
which we joked about
Yeah.
before on this
But
show.
he said like, you know, you can make an argument that more change happened when I left, you know, when I did sit on my couch than
Yeah.
when I got off my couch and that. So, but that was his way. The first big one I think was he did say pretty much where he left just because he wasn't happy anymore.
Yeah, I mean, by the end, when he got to, like, time when he did leave towards the end of the
Yeah.
podcast, I mean, he kind of said, like, he was about to go insane, he was miserable and everything, and
Yeah, you know, and he did say health was the main reason.
health
that.
as well, yeah.
But like I said, I mean, following in order here, I think one of the first big things he brought up was sponsors. He didn't get
Yeah.
that.
Right, yeah.
He didn't get how
He was outselling Cena for
a
brief period.
But he was talking about like he was getting offers from people to
Right.
have like their sponsorship planted on his
Right.
trunks and that.
Right,
You know, so not necessarily a sponsor of WWE, but a sponsor for Punk there.
right.
And you know, of course, he had the sponsor from Vince was, well, we can't do that because then everybody else is going to want sponsors for their
Yeah.
drugs and that, and then USA's going to get pissed off because that's not their sponsors. They're not getting any money from this deal, and it's going to create a tidal wave in that. Then you know he brought it up, you know, but Brock comes back. He's not wearing black trunks like he used to.
Yeah.
He's wearing his, and he's got great. He had those sponsors prior to signing with WWE, and
Right,
that, but
from
still,
the UFC. And,
you know, but it's like, okay, how come I can't do it, but this guy can do it?
yeah.
You know, and they
It's
brought
not rocket science, people.
Yeah.
and then he brought up speaking of which, he brought up the UFC then because apparently he was he worked out a deal with UFC that he was gonna come down ringside with somebody one
Yeah.
time. I forget the fighter's name. I think it was like Shay Sonnen.
Yeah, yeah, I think it was something like,
I mean, who I believe is retired now. I believe he's like a commentator now. But apparently it was worked out. He even went to Vince and he said like, hey, it worked out. They're okay with it. It's cool. And Vince said like, well, I don't want us to be associated with UFC. You know,
somebody could die.
Yes,
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
and then the whole idea of and it's so barbaric. Do you know they're gonna have female fighters soon?
Yeah.
And it's like this is coming from a guy here who's done so much like sexual stuff to females, character wise on
Yeah.
television. I mean,
Yeah.
you watch past
Yeah.
like WWE shows. I mean, back in the Attitude Era days, the number of like sexual innuendos you
Right,
do to
yeah.
the female, it's like, and Vince and you're it's like you're shining a positive light here, but
Yeah.
oh, you could die. But then, like, you know, he couldn't do it, but all of a sudden, a week later, Triple H is accompanying Floyd Mayweather for one of his fights, and it's like, okay, that's when they see how
Yeah.
this stuff is working here. And I actually think that I think this is when he kind of went a little bit on a spurt about how everything's not equal for everybody, even
Right.
the drug testing. He said like certain guy, like I don't want to flip around too much here, but remember what he said about the piss test deal, which pissed him
Yeah.
off, and he goes straight to he goes, "Why don't you take a piss test?"
Yeah.
You know, like,
Right.
and someone brought up a funny story here where Scott Steiner worked at the company at one point. He was going to feud with Triple H,
Yeah.
and he went Scott Steiner to do a piss test, and he said, "Okay." So it's good.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. He said, here's how it's going to work. It's going to be me, Triple H, we're going to be in a limo together. We're going to take the piss test together. And all of a sudden, never heard anything about the piss test. So I mean, like I said, I can believe that. I doubt Brock had to take a piss test. I doubt Rock had to take a piss test.
Part timers.
Yeah, I doubt any of these part timers had to take a piss test.
Yeah.
I doubt Stan has to take a piss test. He might have to take a concussion test, but
Yeah.
let's see. When else? Not fun.
So that was like, yeah, I mean, that was around.
Okay.
Yeah.
He talked about how he really well, first of all, he really wanted let's put it this way. There's 3 things I took from this interview. One, this guy is obsessively wants to be in the main event of WrestleMania.
He wanted to, yeah.
He really wanted to be. He clearly had an obsession over that. Number 2 is WWE has really questionable business practices if everything this guy is saying is true. Questionable. Clearly, a lot of miscommunication going around when it comes to tout relations
and politics
and politics, and you know, and you know, some of the other stuff too as well. And 3, the guy clearly hated working with Ryback.
Yeah.
If there's any guy who besides Vince and Triple H came out maybe negative in this interview, it's Ryback. Probably is definitely the one guy.
Yeah, I guess we'll get to that.
You know what? Let's get that right now, because you are clearly a Ryback fan. You've been one since his beginning, I would say.
Well, maybe maybe barring some of the maybe the mishaps he's had, obviously with CM Punk.
Okay, but
I'm a fan. Well, since they've brought him back, I'm definitely like, I'm in favor of them pushing him if he's like, if he can work safer now.
Yeah.
Which I guess remains to be seen and whatever.
But no, but it's just like what were your responses when Punk was kind of chewing this guy a new one, pretty much?
Well, I thought it was funny how the table spot in that first match, like how Ryback did he do it on purpose and everything, or he just are you just that stupid or whatever? And Ryback said, "Oh, I'm just stupid, really stupid or whatever." And
which I thought, I actually thought when that came out, I thought, what's going to happen when it comes out to ring now? It's going to be I'm stupid chance going to break out. All of a sudden, it's like, I mean, first of all, his response on Twitter. First of all, probably should not have responded to begin with.
With like the 8 Ryback figures like standing around CM Punk at a table, and he's a couple dumbbells or like.
Here's the thing I don't understand. I get why he has 8 Ryback action figures. If somebody had an action figure about me, I would probably buy one, and as many as I could. Especially
the whole,
Why does he have a CM Punk action figure?
Yeah, did he just like go out and buy one just to like prove that point or whatever?
No, but you know what I mean. No, but it's like why would he own a CM Punk action figure?
Does he have like this whole collection that we don't even know about?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, at least like a big action figure collection, I get that, but still, like it's like, okay, I get the 8 Rybacks, but what's
like
the
your
CM
own
Punk one?
like your own merchandise and stuff like that. But yeah, having like CM Punk action, that's a little weird.
No, but I mean, following his story here, he
I don't think he has any kids. So
I
don't know. That might be the only, but I don't think.
But go back to what Punk said about, first of all, Ryback. He kind of started the Ryback rip kind of in the beginning with the whole Nexus feud.
Yeah,
a bit
because that things kind of
because we said first of all, someone poked him in the eye. They had eye surgery, which pissed him off. And him and Gallows didn't know anything about. I mean, they kind of heard rumors and that backstage. Like, they knew something big was gonna happen in the main event. They didn't know what. So here comes these guys out here. And someone rags him in the eyes. We actually turns out that we watched the it turns out to be Daniel Bryan of all people.
Yeah,
that's the guy that's really doing it there. But I guess Gallows is out there too, and he's like, "Dude, what are we gonna do?" And he says, "Let's kick their asses." And apparently they're starting to beat up on Ryan Reeves, who's Ryback's real name. Yeah, and I guess in the Ryback voice, he says folks says Ryan says, "No, don't do it. We're supposed to go over. We're supposed to beat you guys up, not the other way around."
Yeah.
So right at the bat, that kind of makes sense there. But he said how in one of their first matches, he kicked him too hard and he actually cracked his ribs.
He
actually cracked a rib, which already got him pissed off in that. He also said Rick Ryback took 20 years off of his life.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah, I remember that part too.
Yeah. Once again, he has nothing good to say. Even in the second interview, which I watched today, he brings the guy's name up again here. So the guy clearly has no apology towards this man here. But then I guess it was the feuding with Brock. Well, first of all, it's good. This is when he starts to get pissed off here. It's when. First of all, he gets told by Vince, "Hey, Rock wants you to turn heel."
They want him to turn heel. Or
Rock wants to work with a heel. and you're babyface
And this
right
was
now.
this was like
Yeah.
way in advance. Still.
Yeah. And Punk's like, well, I wouldn't want to because once I do, my merchandise sales is gonna just tumble.
Yeah.
Because all the 8-year-old kids are gonna want to buy Punk
Right,
jerseys
yeah.
if I'm a prick again, or a bad
Yeah.
guy. And I think Vince said like, well, if you don't do, you gotta drop the belt to Bryan, who was a heel at the time, and he's gonna drop the Rock thing because he was a heel at the time. And Punk said, no, don't do it. I'll turn heel. I prefer to work heel anyway. Grant, I'm gonna lose some money in merchandise sales, and he says, I don't know why you would cut that. I'm second behind John, and on some occasions I topped John in sales. He said
it was way back on Raw 1000 when the turn happened.
But anyway, so he's of course he has the belt for so long.
Right.
Like, he has it for like what 400 days then, and
485.
he kept trying to go up to Vince. He said he was playing politics. He said, you have to do it in wrestling to get where you want sometimes. He says he's trying to say, look, you can't go Rock Cena rematch. You just can't.
Yeah.
Can't. He says, look, how about a triple threat? And he says, and this is kind of the first time when I would say bullshit on a story. But he says, like, it could be a 3-way elimination match. I could be eliminated in the first 5 minutes of the match. I don't care. At least I can say it was in the main event.
Yeah.
I'm calling bullshit there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
5 minutes into the main event, and he wants to.
Yeah,
I mean, come on. It's as much as this guy is working.
Exaggerating.
Yeah, maybe go exaggerating a bit there. I think. He says.
You get the point. He just.
But at one point,
the point is.
At one point, he wanted the title. He wanted to have a title versus streak feud with Taker. That did go through, and. But anyway, I think it was around this time here when he when he drops the belt to Rock. And it's like, okay, what's after that? And it's like, well, a rematch. And it's like, no, can I have a break now, maybe?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we need you for the rematch. And he does the rematch. And it's like, okay, what's next? Because I'm not in the main event now, clearly. Oh, you're facing Taker. Okay, the guy's like 40 years older now. Okay. I mean, he didn't want to really like rip Taker, but it kind of came as a rip when he said that there. But he wrestles Taker and he's losing there. And all of a sudden, it's just like, okay, I got to take 2 weeks. I got to take 2 weeks off. It'd be like 2 months off.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where he started to get, this is where he said, it's like, oh God, 2 months off. This is nice. No bumping, no traveling. It's great. And all of a sudden, he gets a call from Vince. Which, he got a lot of phone calls from Vince in between some of this stuff here. I gotta say it too. He really shit apart the medical professionals at WWE.
Yeah.
One of the funniest ones, I think, was, don't want to flip around too much, but was the Dr. James Andrews one.
Yeah.
When he just came from knee surgery. And he's told 4 to 6 weeks of rehab tops. Gets called from Vince. Oh, make it 2 to 4. And it's like, you got wrestle like a TLC with Ryback.
Yeah.
Which already he's like growing. He's like, great, I got this dangerous match.
Yeah, this
with a dangerous opponent. it's like great. I just had knee surgery too. But he's like talking to like a medical doctor, or trainer, I guess you can say. I don't know if these guys are. I don't know if these guys are rehabbers, trainers, or doctors, whatever. Postman, they clearly have questionable medical.
Yeah.
But he says, like, I'm not even cleared by Dr. James Andrews. Oh, no. We did over the telephone. So I got cleared, even though I didn't, the guy didn't even look at me.
Yeah.
Let's go to the phone.
I think Pokes like, what kind of voodoo magic is going on here? Because this makes no sense.
Yeah.
So, like I said, but I guess going back to where we...
After WrestleMania.
After the break, he gets called by Vince. Hey.
Rather quickly, yeah.
Very quickly, hey, we need you for payback. We got to sell tickets. You're the hometown boy.
Chicago.
And Post like saying, can't you just work at SummerSlam? That's the next big pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It would be a bigger return. And it's like, no, we need to sell tickets for Chicago.
Yeah.
It's like, so he does that. He wrestles Jericho. He clearly has this problem wrestling guys like multiple times in that because he kind of grown.
He wrestled Jericho at WrestleMania, which was 28 for the WWE Championship when he was baby. Yeah, and it was like, that was better. That was probably maybe the best match on the card actually. It's one of those cases that maybe Punk should have main evented at least a WrestleMania.
Yeah, but
anyways,
he wrestles Jericho at Payback then. And then he's told, well, that's in there too. He actually called the phone conversation. Goes, "What's after Jericho? Oh, Money in the Bank." And he says, You know, like no, because
me.
because I heard him in the past saying, "Look, Money in the Bank is a clusterfuck of a match."
Yeah.
He says it's amazing. He said it's amazing nobody's got impaled by a ladder yet. He said he just came closer. He said if he didn't move to one side, he would have got impaled by a ladder. He says it's amazing no one's really got severely hurt out of this match. It's like 6, 7, sometimes 8 guys in one match, and it's a ladder match. You know, one-on-one ladder matches are tough to begin with there, but at least you can. It's one-on-one. You can work easier. But now it's like, oh, you gotta watch out for this guy. You gotta watch out for this guy. It's like. So he didn't like it. So Paul turns on him and he's told, okay, and you got to feud with Brock. It's going to be one of the top feuds at SummerSlam. He goes, okay, am I going over? Oh, no, Brock's going over. And he goes, great. Is Brock going to be there Monday night? He says, well, no. And he says, so I am. So he says, how does this make any sense here? Because, as Punk worded it, where he says, look, I lost to Rock twice. I lost to Taker. And now I'm about to lose to Brock. He said, as he worded, my stock is falling in this company before my very eyes here. It's like, and he even said, like, look, me and Brock are we're close. I respect the man in that. Yeah. But it's just like, it really sounds like he wasn't so as mad at the result, just that they had nothing planned afterwards. Like, he was told, like, originally, like, after Brock, okay, well, clearly Brock's not working the next pay-per-view.
Yeah. He kind of, CM Punk kind of said how, like, they're, like, a lot of their, like, planning meetings basically start out with, like, all right, well, what do we do next with Cena? And then and CM Punk kind of said that was it. Like, there was like no long-term planning at all
for the rest of the roster.
Yeah, and that's something that we continue to say on this show as well. Like, maybe they ought to think ahead a little more.
Yeah, but I mean, not going back to Raw, but it's like I think the whole Eric Rowan feud just spawned out of nowhere with Big Show. It's like, well, we didn't have Rowan feud with somebody because we just made him, this baby face here, and he's a big guy. Oh, Big Show can work with this guy. Stair match, perfect.
Yeah.
Never been done before. So and he's told once again he's got to work with Ryback, which he just groans at.
Yeah.
And he even goes like, explain to me how going from Brock to Ryback makes any sense. Yeah. like, oh, fans are not going to be disinterested in this match here. And he said he wanted to work with Curtis Axel originally. He said he wanted to put Curtis Axel over. He said, I see where Triple did such a damn good job putting him over. Because if you actually watch, like, I think his first match was against Triple H, and that was when they did that whole like injury angle of Triple H,
like
which kind of just like Matt Vadis like 2 weeks later. It felt like they really stopped doing.
Then
it
kind of turned into like Triple H and Stephanie and Vince.
So he eventually does. So he supposed to goes up to Ryback then, and he goes, "Okay, clean slate. Clean slate. What's in the past here." And he says, "Look, let's turn this feud into let's turn this from mid card feud into a main event feud." Yeah. Ryback's like, "Okay, let's do this here."
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it happens. The classic table spot. Yeah. It's like it's simple. He picks me up and he power slams me through a table. Or no, I'm sorry, he press slams him through a table. Misses the fucking table. Or if you watch the video, Paul kind of lands part of his body on the end of the table, but mainly he hits the concrete floor. Yeah. And he said he actually like twisted midair so that way he didn't hurt his pelvis as bad. But his pelvis was like fucked up. And of course that's when he came backstage and he's like, "Look, listen, either you tell me right now you did it on purpose, or you're the dumbest motherfucker in the, or you're stupid. And, like I said, Ryback said, "Oh, I'm stupid. I'm stupid pretty much."
Yeah.
Which once again, I'm sure it's just what Ryback wants to hear in the middle of a rebirth. Even great. I didn't hear any of those chants. Didn't see any posters. Great. They're being confiscated too. I'm pretty sure WWE is still in anti-CM Punk mode in the company. But he said, and he says like like I said, that's kind of where it came with him and Ryback after that. Just like, I said after that, it was kind of like, okay, I'm feuding with the Shield, then the Wyatts. Weren't bad, not bad, but could be doing something maybe else at this time, or nothing at all. I could be going on break maybe, But I don't know. I'm speaking of the Shield. What's your thoughts on the whole idea that he said that the Shield was his idea?
Well, but the thing is, I think the three like Ambrose, Tyler Black at the time, and Roman Reigns, they were having matches. I thought with each other before any of this, like even.
Well, they were having matches. But they were never officially the Shield until Survivor Series. of that.
I know,
of that year.
but I mean, probably before. I mean, unless CM Punk thought of it way in advance, but I don't know.
Well, but this is Punk's story. Come on, this is Punk's story.
Yeah, he had somebody else. He had like two.
And like I said, he did say, look, you can this will either blow people's minds or you're gonna call bullshit on me here, but the Shield was my idea. They said supposedly what happened was somebody in creative said we want to have a heater group with you, and
it was
and it was Big Show, and immediately he groaned, and it was Daniel Bryan. He groaned again, and he said, look, for Bryan, it wasn't so much. Okay, I don't want to be associated with him. It's just that I really shouldn't be. It's like this could be Sean Brett 2 Part 2 here. Keep me as far away from this guy, and then when we come together, it's a feud maybe one day, and that. But it's like he groaned, and then Seth Rollins, which he kind of liked. I like this new guy here coming up.
Yeah, new guy.
So his proposal was, okay, let's not do
Big Show.
Let's not do Big Show. Let's not do Bryan. Let's do three young guys.
New guys.
And he said, okay, who do you have in mind? Well, Rollins, Ambrose, who he did work at NXT in a match one time. And he said Chris Hero, which I could believe. Those guys are kind of like independent buddies. Grant, at the time, Hero, who doesn't even work for the company anymore because he pissed some people off down development. I think it was like Cassius Ono. I think it was his NXT name, I believe. Or I believe it was FCW at the time still. It wasn't even NXT yet. It was FCW. And they said, okay, well, we don't want Ono. Can you work with, they said Reigns' real name, which is like
Joseph Anoa'i or
Samoan.
Yeah.
And it's like, fine, I get it. This is one of their guys, but either way, I can teach him. He could, I'll make it work. It's fine here, But then, later he gets told by, I think it was Rollins or one of the guys, oh, we just learned we're not going to be working with you. He says, that's news to me, And, he pretty much said something of the line of, they kind of were associated with him. Grant it was kind of more of like paid assassins, more than, this is my actual heel stable that I formed. This is like the Straight Society 2.0 pretty much. Yeah. He said, look, they're making money. They're killing it. All three of them are all killing it. So he says, it doesn't matter. But he says, it was his idea, he said.
Maybe like, I could believe like maybe like the personnel.
Yeah.
But maybe not like the whole Shield gimmick and everything.
No.
Because if you remember, like when the Shield first appeared, at that pay-per-view with
Survivor Series,
they came out in like black turtlenecks, and that was do you remember that?
Well, yeah. Because I think they came out actually disguised.
Kind of joked that.
I think they came out disguised as like security, I believe, also maybe security.
So but I don't know. And then like after maybe then they started like getting together. Like, all right, they're going to be the Shield, and then they're going to wear like these SWAT vests and everything. Maybe that's when more of that came together. Maybe the personnel I could believe was maybe kind of CM Punk's. It could have been. And he said,
well,
and of course he had Chris Hero.
They said. Obviously, I don't think the Shield was. I think he said, let's call him the Shield. I'm pretty sure that was like somebody backstage. I agree.
That was probably.
But as far as personnel goes, I do believe that it was his idea for, hey, you get these three young guys together, maybe they could be like
maybe in that sense,
it's a great way to get these guys to show up here, and you're high on all three of these guys here, so why just put them together, maybe, and create magic, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I could believe maybe that much, but probably not the whole, I don't believe, CM Punk went out and said, all right, let's get these guys, SWAT vests and everything.
Yes, I agree. Oh, he is pissed off that
compose the entrance music.
He said he was pissed off that Triple H did get, that it was his idea, though.
Triple H got credit for it.
Not him at all.
Yeah.
And he says that's what company does, though. Takes anybody's original idea, it just turns it into their own, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, let's see, I'm trying to think here. What else want to maybe talk about? I mean, there's so much. I'm trying to think. I don't know. You want to talk about? Trying to think for a second. I don't know. We want to go straight to the backstage segment, maybe a bit.
Between after that Survivor Series, and then CM Punk, he had another. Didn't he have some other kind of injury? As we're now we're heading towards New Year's and.
Yeah. The staph infection in the back.
And then
there wasn't reported as a staph infection by a doctor.
I thought there was another. Didn't he have some other little injury bug.
Well,
I don't know. And then he
got a concussion in the Rumble from Kofi.
Yeah, that's right.
He even said, "Look, Kofi, listening, don't worry
Don't
about
worry
it."
about it. Yeah.
I mean, Grant, those guys are buddies. I mean, hell, Kofi was his bus buddy, I guess you could say. Same way. I mean, especially if you watch his DVD and you catch the extras, you can see Kofi Kingston's riding like his tour bus and that. You know.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I mean, so that's what happened there and that. But no, supposedly what happened was after the Rumble, he's going up to Cleveland, Ohio, and he's sitting in bed. He's looking over, I guess, at AJ, who's about to marry.
Yeah, right, yeah.
He's like, you know what I'm saying? He just goes,
he's kind of miserable at this point.
He kind of just like says, "What the fuck am I doing with my life right now?"
Yeah.
Like he's kind of having once again, I guess a coming to Jesus moment. I guess is the best way to word it I can think of. But kind of just like, oh yeah, what am I doing here really? And all of a sudden it's just like, you know, oh, piss test, you know, next night. And all of a sudden it's like, Vince, you and me, office. And Hunter's like, you know, well, that's the thing too, I probably should bring up too. You would think that this company was really trying to sabotage this man.
Yeah.
Because he gets offered the role for 12 rounds part 2.
Right, yeah.
Which goes to Randy Orton.
And this was like the European tour.
Yeah, Hunter, I'm pretty sure it's the European tour. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's
like every year.
Like Hunter, it's the same dates every year. Yeah. It's the same time every year. It's either, you know, it's right before Thanksgiving or that's the European tour dates. It's like, I'm the champion at the time. You know, if Vince wants me to go, fine, I can take a day off there. But I'm pretty sure he wants his WWE champion to go with these European tours here. And, you know, and of course he says, he learns on WWE.com that Randy Orton is 12 rounds. And she's like, really? You could call me? Could it say, oh, this came up. Oh, well, we called the studio. Maybe they want to move production up further so they can work with you. And it's like, oh, no. Just, there's Orton. And I learned about it on the website, not from the person who's supposed to be, you know, watching me and making sure, you know, I get treated right and all that. But he goes backstage, talks to Vince. He just says, look, Vince, I told you when I signed my contract, which he said, actually where he started the rant too, was from Money in the Bank. Yeah. He said, it wasn't so much Vince convinced me. It was more of like, you know, maybe I can actually do something with me. As he called it, maybe delusion. Like maybe he was thinking maybe too much delusional at that point, and they even worded it. But you know, it's like, hey, I said if I couldn't handle it anymore, fire me on the spot. Just fire me.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, we can go on and on. Honestly, me explaining it, I don't think does it justice. Really, you got to really watch the actual podcast to get Punk's perspective on it. But it's clear him and Triple H did not get along.
Yeah. He says that like Triple H always kind of like looked at him sideways.
You know, but you know, and how he didn't like the fact that Night of Champions 3 years ago, Triple H pinned him.
Right.
Back when and this is like he thought he was like red hot.
Yeah, and it kind of was.
Never got the win. Yeah. He even called back, but yeah, it was kind of funny. It's like
white hot.
It's like he was retired.
At that
and then he comes out of retirement, beats Punk, he goes back into retirement.
Yeah.
And like, well, I should say it too, even like the next pay-per-view, him and Triple H are teaming up in a tag team against Miz and R-Truth. And Punk takes the pinfall from Miz and R-Truth. And it's like, I shouldn't be the one here getting buried on television. I'm here every night.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Actually, that was the thing about it too, or Kevin Nash got away with something too. He never did ever like get payback on Nash for the 3 power bombs in SummerSlam. You think about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like they're supposed to do a match at a Champions originally, but I think Nash had like a medical problem and they couldn't clear him to wrestle. But of course, you know, Nash eventually did wrestle. He had a match at TLC against Triple H. I forget what the match was called. I think it was like a sledgehammer on it was like a ladder match or TLC match, but it's like for the sledgehammer. It was still a pinfall match though. Yeah. It was like, you got the sledgehammer, you had an advantage then. But it's like, yeah, sure. But I remember that though. I don't think he got payback on Nash for the 3 power bombs either. So really, Punk, I think, really was getting screwed by Triple H. Really. No, but I don't know. I mean, honestly, but like I said, you know, he said like the whole like main event. He brought about how Bryan should have been the guy. You know, he says how Bryan has to figure out the idea. I like that too. I like the fact that I like the fact that he did say, look, that was not the plan. It was Batista Orton because the fans shitted on both guys. They couldn't go that route. And even like it says, like he's friends with Dave. Dave, and he even talked to Dave. He said, "Look, you come back as a babyface is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Like you've been gone for 2 years. Who, I think the
I
whole
think it was like 4 years.
well,
even.
yeah, but you know what I mean. He was gone.
Yeah.
You've been gone a while, and the fact that they think he's just gonna come back and get this, hero welcome, and he's gonna conquer Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and get the belt back, and so on. It's like it's not gonna happen, dude.
Yeah.
You're gonna have people say, "Well, he went off and he did this shit and this shit,"
Yeah.
I mean, it's I thought, well, they liked Rock. It's like, yeah, because no offense, it's Rock.
Yeah.
I mean, by the way, congrats on Dave Bautista getting a role in the new James Bond film too.
Yeah.
So no, but I mean, so he talked about that. Like I said, he even talked about. I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, he walked out, and he did specify that too. He says, "I'm so sick of people saying I quit. I didn't quit. I walked out." And it's more of an
He's
interesting
an independent contractor, yes.
which is a fact. These guys are and if there's any positive that came out of this interview that you hope gets pushed, maybe, is this notion and this farce that these guys are independent contractors.
Yeah.
WWE says they are, so they don't have to pay them health insurance, certain benefits, to get certain tax credits because these guys are contractors. But it's like, here's between a contractor and an employee. A contractor can work any date he wants, at any time he wants, and he can negotiate for any pay he wants. That's an independent contractor. He's independent.
Yeah.
He can free roam. If these guys were independent contractors, they could work New Japan Pro Wrestling if they wanted to. They could work independent circuits if they wanted to. And they were true independent contractors. An employee, I'm contractually obligated to work for this specific person. I got to show up at this time, at this location.
Yeah.
I got to be, dressed this way. I actually got to follow this thing called a contract.
Yeah.
Because I'm an employee. I'm not independent. So, like I said, it's bullshit. I think the IRS still has not gotten them in a court for this. It's complete bullshit. It's only done because they don't want to pay them health insurance and they don't want to pay them this and this. And if they do, they're gonna lose probably more profit if they have any profit left. So I'm hoping that actually comes out of it here. But no, I don't know. I mean, really, the next weirdest thing I can't. Well, besides the fact that obviously the staph infection deal, the fact that he was getting Z packs popped in him like they were candy.
Yeah, and yeah, there was I guess there was one episode on SmackDown where he craps himself.
He shit his pants,
and he says
says it on Twitter.
He said it on Twitter.
And then he's like, "No, can you not say shit?" Yeah. It's like, fuck you. You guys aren't fun anymore. I shit my pants. Yeah. Vince was laughing. Dean was laughing. Yeah. It's funny. Yeah. And then he said and then he responded on Twitter, which Colt laughed at, and he laughed at was you guys are pooping not fun anymore. Yeah. And then he blocked the Twitter feed, the Twitter page, and it's like, why you were working for the company on the list too? And it's like he says, yep, and they're still blocked off my Twitter feed.
Yeah.
No, but he did say like here's where things get weird. Then was when he walks out. And at this point, I'm like, okay, well.
Yeah, and this was after saying all right, you're gonna face Triple H at WrestleMania.
Yeah. So he walks out. It's a week. He gets this thing looked at as staph infection too, which other criticism too here is that look, I don't know what these guys have in their contracts and so on here, but it's like, doesn't Punk have a private physician he can go to? Yeah,
I mean that's the thing. And
I'm just saying. I brought this up to Corey. He had a kind of a small debate with me here too. I'm like, look, if you work in the NFL and your team doctor, and keep it on, they haven't got flacked for this. I remember 1.2 when team doctor supposedly did phony concussion tests just so the star player could still play in the game.
Yes,
the guy should not be playing that, but it's like, so I can see this kind of thing happening in wrestling. Obviously, like I said, people calling bullshit about it. It's like, well, Bryan's not out, and Reigns is not out. It's like, yeah, because they're not going to have a guy wrestle with a neck injury. And Reigns had to get taken to the hospital. He was stretchered out. He had to get stretchered to a hospital too. Obviously, but it's like, a knee surgery. Oh, it's good. 2 to 4, 4 to 6 weeks. Make it 2 to 4.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you rehab hard enough, you can work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they're not. They do it all the time. I mean, look, Cena probably works hurt all the time here. And the Punk one, like I said, if the Punk interview tells you anything, it's why a guy like Rey Mysterio, who might leave the company soon as well, And I'd be shocked if he doesn't also go for a settlement like Del Rio and Punk did. Because apparently it's like, hey, 2 for 2. Why don't you just go 3 for 3 then? Because apparently these guys just can't legally hack a settlement at this point. And that's the other reason, too, that I kind of buy that Punk's not bullshitting here. It's just that WWE settled. They settled.
Yeah.
He settled the merchandise, the 2K15 stuff, too, which he was even shocked he even did that.
Yeah.
Supposedly his 2K15 Twitter feed was like posting something on his Twitter feed saying, "Can you see us now?" And it's like, "Yeah, I can. Can you see me now? All the money you gave me, for putting me in your video game. Yeah, I can see you now. But it's like, yeah, they worked out something out. That supposedly it's something working out where the reason why they still poke merchandise on the .com is because it's like they mass produce these items so that they can't really get rid of them. It's like, Poke doesn't care. They're very cheap. They're not really like my biggest sellers anyway. But it's like, and I still get a royalty check in the mail from these things here. I don't care. Those are getting what I believe I deserve. He gets there. But no, but it's like, when I heard the staff action, I'm like, but you could go to a private physician. It's like, I get what the team doctor said. I mean, the company doctor said. But it's like, you don't go to a private physician, maybe? You get
maybe get a second opinion.
Second opinion, maybe? It's like, I mean, but again, I got what Poke was saying, too, where it's like, look, if I did that, and I'm told I can't work this, I lose money then. Yeah. And then they punish you. And I can believe that too, because I remember when Fandango was supposed to be in a triple threat match against who was supposed to fight? Bad News Barrett and who else were they supposed to wrestle? It was a triple threat. Oh, The Miz. Fandango has a concussion. And suppose he was supposed to go over in that match against the Championship. Concussion, misses time. All of a sudden, the guy's never seen from again, pretty much. By the way, I hate his new gimmick now. Yeah, it's the same.
New and improved. Yeah, it's
a bunch of BS. They took away the one thing that made this guy over, which is his theme music.
Yeah.
So now it's always his shitty dance gimmick still, but no catchy theme music. Yeah, that's like.
And he's just wearing like black attire, and he's got Rosa out there instead of Summer Rae.
I mean, thank God, she's managing, because if she wrestled again, she might hurt somebody again. Yeah. So at least they're thinking about safety there, I guess. But I mean, the guy's future endeavored. I don't know how you say it. You can't save Fandango's career now. You took away the one great thing fans might have got around about the guy, which is his theme music. Yeah. Even that, it was still a shitty dancing gimmick. Yeah. But and actually you don't see him again. I never hear from him again. Obviously Dolph Ziggler, he had a concussion when he was the world champion, and you can't tell me that didn't play in a factor of him dropping the belt instantly, because it's like, oh, well, he might have another concussion maybe down the line. He's not a safe worker, and he can't work through concussions. I don't know who will work through concussions. But anyway, but I said that was maybe my second. That was one of my main base for poking this. Just like, you could go to a private physician. Yeah. You could get a second opinion. You had to wait till your wife's family doctor looked at you and said, "Oh, it's staph infection. Oh yeah, you could have died." It's like, okay. Yeah. And like I said, I believe that staph infection should not be fucked around with. But still,
especially in wrestling.
Yeah. Actually, I think even Hardcore Holly brought about how he had a staph infection on his arm, and he got told by John Laurinaitis, "Hey, we need you for the European tour," and it's like, "I got a staph infection though." Like, "But we really need you for the European tour." And he said he wrestled him. But he said if he didn't get surgery on it right away or get removed, he almost lost his arm. He almost would have been an amputee. He said, "Yeah, his career would have been over." And so it's like the funny thing about that story is that supposedly it's like he didn't get either. It's like he went over to Europe to wrestle a 20-man battle royal. It wasn't like a 1-on-1 match. It was Europe 20-man battle royal. It's like you could have somebody else fill that 20th spot. It's a mid-card battle royal. That doesn't mean jack shit in a European tour. It's but me being is gonna like open some one hardcore Holly fan is gonna show up in that arena that's not gonna be there before. But anyway, so what I took from Punk when he left originally was that he didn't really completely close the door on the company yet. It sounded like. Yeah. Vince supposedly called him. And he said, like, "Hey, how you doing?"
This was like after WrestleMania.
No, it was a week later. If they walked out, and say, "Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, that's right.
Can we talk?"
Right.
And Vince just said, "Look, right now I just want to heal up. Can I, Yeah. And finally gets a message eventually that, "Hey, you're suspended." It's like, oh, good. I can, But then he hears from Vince on an investor's call that, "Oh, well, Punk's not suspended. He's taking a sabbatical."
Right, yeah.
And it's like, wow, news to me. You know?
Breaking news. Yeah.
You know, so Punk then supposedly says, excuse me. So then Punk supposedly finds this royalty check or check that he didn't cash in originally, and it's like, hey, can you read? And he's also expecting his other one in the mail yet because it's like, I'm still employed in this company here, like I'm not officially fired yet. I'm still employed. So he's calling up like all these guys, the lawyers, and nobody's responding back to him. Nothing. Nobody's calling him up there. It's like it's gone black. You know, pitch black. Ironically, you know, it's just nobody's talking to him. You know, and then Punk pretty much says it's like 2 weeks before his wedding, I guess.
Right. And,
he gets also a text from Triple H saying, "Hey, can we talk?" And Punk's messages back says, "Hey, my wedding's in 2 weeks. I got a honeymoon. After that, I'm willing to talk." Yeah. And then, of course, the classic, the thing that really sets up the storm, you know, because at one point he's like, I've got the checks, because really, it's not worth it at this point here. You know, it happens. Yeah. You know, obviously, I walked out. It was about a big time. You know, he kind of gets that. He says, it's fine. I'm done.
He's got his bank account is good. And,
yeah, you know, but even then, he's still, you know, in his mind, I felt like it's still okay. But the door's not completely closed yet. It's just look, I'm getting off now. I'm resting up. I'm healing up. Got the staff thing taken care of. I'm actually on actual antibiotics that actually fix the problem. Yeah. Like actually, I remember that's the best sleep I had in years. She's got the antibiotics. It's like, oh great, no.
It's starting to
It's like great. I'm not sore. I can actually rest. It's like this is great. Yeah. All of a sudden, it's his wedding day. Gets a FedEx in the mail, termination papers. And one of the funny things he said was one of the things on there for the non-complete clause, which he says is bullshit. For because once again, because I didn't pay a contract, it's like if I'm going to pay a contractor, you can't even tell me when I'm done with the company. Oh, you can't work for this long there. It's like no, I'm done with you. I'm not even contract obligated with you anymore. You can't tell me. Oh, well, 90 months you can't work in this promotion. So Punk says suppose he then gets the Fed, and he talks about Cole about how. And this actually shows you that even though he's definitely friends with Del Rio in real life, because he mentioned even Del Rio at this point too, and his termination papers as well. Apparently, in both of his papers, UFC was down as like you can't compete in UFC, and Pope just laughed. Yeah. And it's like, first of all, the thought that me and Del Rio would just leave WWE and go, let's fight for real now, is laughable. But number two, it's like, but they're not competition, UFC's not competition, And so, and his coach said, and somebody might die in the ring too. And it's like, but no, we can't work there for like 90 months after I'm done in that. But I was in the post, like, you know what? Fuck these guys for a second. Yeah. He calls up this lawyer, this bulldog lawyer over in Los Angeles. He says, look, here's my story. I'm going on my honeymoon. After this, we'll talk. And suppose he comes back on my honeymoon and he gets response. Guys says, you know what? Let's get these fuckers. Pretty much. Straight to that. And he says, you know what? I got it. I got everything and more. And supposedly, I guess this goes over into the part 2 of today, which you did not listen to yet.
I didn't listen to yet.
It's not a story. Put it this way. It's
like a big Q&A, more like.
Well, actually, even then, it's not so much Q&A.
Maybe not.
They had 30,000. They had 30,000.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. 10,000 emails came in. And they were expecting maybe around 300, maybe. They were not expecting this thing to, implode the internet.
Yeah.
And, most questions weren't good in that, but Punk did say that one of the reasons why he did not do this earlier was because, A, he wanted to get the legal situation taken care of.
Right, yeah.
Which is done. It's taken care
of.
Get
all that out. Yeah,
they settled it. And the other one was mainly because him and Colt have... Because Colt still wrestles on occasions. Yeah. I mean, he does the podcast, but he also wrestles. And Punk goes, Punk goes, I think it's like, I want to do it this day, but I have to go to Los Angeles. Colt, can you do it in Los Angeles? Like, no, but you got to go to Japan and wrestle. And So finally, they were the other day. We're having to be Thanksgiving. Actually, this is how I worded it today too. He's like, look, I got fired on my wedding. We settled on my birthday, and I explained it to my fans on Thanksgiving. I gave it back to you. It's like, so. Here's some of the things they talked about today. Punk brought up about, Cody asked him about, hey, what's your deal with CM Punk and Phil now? Phil Brooks. Like, what would you like to be called now?
Yeah.
And Punk pretty much said this here too. It's just like, look, when I work for Marvel now, and they talk to me, it's like, hey, can we still use your CM Punk name? And Punk says, yes, I own the name. In fact, you can now buy actual CM Punk merchandise now on what's the website? ProWrestlingSomething.com. If you listen to the podcast, he plugs it.
Yeah.
This is now official CM Punk merchandise now, which as Coach said is way more expensive than anything WWE's selling, and it's official.
Yeah.
And Punk says he can't even he doesn't even filter anymore. Like other thing too, there Punk said he got a tweet from somebody saying, "Do you know he said the F word like 209 times in the first one?" And Punk's like, "Look, in my mind, there's no such thing as a bad word. There's bad intentions with a word. Like I would never say a word that I know is gonna be offensive to somebody. I never will say that.
Yeah.
But he says if I just say fuck just to say it's no big deal for him. He said so. No, but he actually said that too. So his deal with Marvel pretty much was, hey, can you be called? That's the thing too. He said like he has all these WWE fans here that are so little to boxing. You can't use CM Punk. That's WWE created. It's like no, it's not. And you look it up. I had the name since I was like 14 years old in that. If you actually watch my DVD, I even said like I had the name for all my independence things. It was my name.
Yeah.
It's not WWE owned. They don't own it. And number two is the settlement solved that issue too. Legally, they had no right over my name. So anyway, he says, look, he said the moral points. Look, if you put down Phil Brooks, no one's really gonna know who it is. Maybe a few people will. Put down CM Punk, so it's like, oh, it's that wrestler. Oh, he's writing a comic book now. I might want to buy this comic now. Yeah. So for sale, I use Punk in that. But I think word it as, look, for fans, it's still Punk. For fans, it's like, look, because I'm still CM Punk. For family and relatives, I'm Phil Brooks. That's pretty how I worded it there. Do you want to talk about the CM Punk chants that have just spontaneously show up and roll as well? And he said, well, actually, what it is too. He says, I don't watch I don't watch the product anymore, and that's true, but I do watch my wife perform. She sends me a text and says, I guess a text where she says look, I'm working this segment. And Punk knows what segments are because he's worked the company for so long in that. So he just watches his wife in that. And he says, look, it does bug me a little bit that they're saying
CM Punk
chant to her instead of AJ.
Yeah, because
her name
a couple weeks ago that did happen.
We
talked about it on the show.
Cody even said that too. It's like, someone did bring on AJ. Says, look, I appreciate that. It's just like, look, because he says, look, someone said, I think it was the Colt one time, says, look, the Punks have done is disrespect. They're done to it's like, oh, well, we're honoring the fact that you're, Punk. But it's like, still, but it's her match, though. Yeah. It's like you're taking away from her by matching someone who's not even in the match at all.
Right. Yeah.
So he did, but he said and look, he even said look, here's my advice to those guys who are doing CM Punk chants. Don't do it to guys who are busting their ass off the ring. I guess don't do it to a Daniel Bryan. Don't do it to a Kofi Kingston. Pretty much don't do it to any of my friends that are in the ring. But he says if there's a guy in the ring now that sucks and he sucks and you just want to dick around with the guy, fine. Break out CM Punk. So I guess what he's saying is, hey, if Ryback's coming out to the ring, and you want to just dig around the man, just do CM Punk chants. I guess. So this is not wrestling related, but apparently, not anything that they said today was wrestling related. He talked about favorite music and give he actually gave a funny thing there about how he doesn't understand why some people like traitor. You're a traitor. You walked out. Yeah. It's like, look. If I go to a wholesale grocery store and I say hi to the same guy every day, and then one day that guy's just not there because maybe just said, I quit, I'm done. I'm not going to track down the guy and say, hey, you should quit a good job like a grocery wholesale grocery store. They paid you well and all that. So, but Punk actually just said that he actually finally watched Jurassic Park for the first time.
Really?
Hard to believe how old that movie is. It's funny there too because he's watching with AJ and he says, he actually says towards the end of the movie, the Velociraptors kind of cornering the four people in the park, and all of a sudden the T-Rex, which is kind of like the bad dinosaur, all of a sudden is this good dinosaur and helps the humans get to the helicopter and just starts fighting all of the velociraptors. And like Pokey does the Western terms, it's like, okay, here's all these velociraptors. They're clearly playing bad guys here. They're clearly heels. Like, when's this babyface going to show up and save all these guys here? All of a sudden, there's the babyface T-Rex showing up and cleaning house in that. Yeah. So he said that too. But he did say that look, for the chance, he just said, look, if it's a guy busting their ass off and they're good advice, don't do it to them. Like, say their names. If you want them to get pushed, say their names. Right, say most likely have them go anywhere. Yeah. And if a guy sucks, and he sucks, and you want to be a dick about it to the guy, fine, do that.
Or to the WWE creative guys in the back. Yeah.
He want to tell a funny story, though, about why he also left, too. And this involves TLC of the Shield, he said. And also about why backstage, he says the company's doing so much things backstage that it rolls his eyes sometimes.
Right, yeah.
Apparently, his best friend's getting married. Like one of his best friends getting married, and he knows about this 8 months out supposedly, or even it's ahead. And he goes, "Hey, my best friend's getting married this day. I don't want to miss it." He even said like, "Look, I missed too many birthdays, too many birthdays, too many weddings, too many funerals, and too many bar mitzvahs too."
Yeah,
he said, he said he missed too much, and this is my best friend here. I don't want to miss this guy. This guy's wedding here. So he says, this date, I'm off. And some eventually said, well, that's the date of TLC. That's the TLC pay-per-view. And it's like, yeah, I know. Just don't have me work that day.
Yeah.
And he said he told, like, it was like Michael Hayes first, Triple H, Vince. He said, like multiple times, he said, hey, guys, I'm still in this count, every time it's like, yeah, you're working this. And finally, I think it was like a month before the pay-per-view, he says, hey, you're working the Shield on a 3-1 handicap match. He says, on a 3-1 handicap match. He goes, no, I'm not. I'm going to my friend's wedding. He says, but we really need you. It's like, and finally we're down. He says, okay, this is how it's going to work. I am going to be the opening match. You're going to give me a private plane so that me and my wife can go, or at least girlfriend at the time, get on this plane, go to Cal, because I believe it was the show was Texas, and the wedding's in California. It's the same date, keep in mind that title too. So, Punk. So what happened is Punk.
A little bit of jet lag.
Yeah.
There,
so Punk wrestles the Shield, gets on the plane with his girlfriend AJ. It's a private jet too, so the company I guess is paying for it too. Yeah. They go to the airport. They have a private car that WWE has waiting for them at the airport, and they drive to this guy's wedding. And Colt was at the wedding too, and he even says like, yeah, he was even shot. His friend was CJ. So yeah, they even surprised he even showed up, and and it was like it's towards the tail end of the wedding. I would say even probably more the reception more than the wedding. I think they missed the actual ceremony, but they called it the reception. And like I said, I think his friend's like, look, I was shocked he even made it because I'm like, don't you have like a pay per view that you're on tonight? It's like, yeah, I came from that, got changed, got an airplane, came over here, and he even said like there was actually a sweet. So him and AJ took. They actually stopped at In-N-Out Burgers after the wedding.
Yeah.
And so take a selfie right behind the private jet. So actually a very cool selfie. But he says like prior to that, and he says, this is what happened with the Shield. He said, it's 3-on-1 against the Shield. It's him and Punk 3-on-1 handicap match against the Shield. And he gets told by somebody backstage, doesn't know who, an agent, hey, you're going over. It's like, okay, makes no sense. These guys have been really protected. They're the most over thing since you know. And it's like they're like really white hot right now, and you're gonna have them lose the 3-1 handicap match. Yeah. It says, oh no, but make him look strong, especially Roman. Make Roman look strong. It's like, okay, I got it. Win, but don't kill him. Yeah. Kill him. And it kept like hearing like up to that match, kept hearing a guy, a new guy come and go, hey, Punk, remember, go over, look strong. It's like, I got it. And all of a sudden, I think it's like after the 8th, 9th guy, and he goes, here's a brighter idea. How about they go over me? Yeah. That way, you don't have to worry about them looking weak at all. And I was like, no. Vince wants you to go over. Okay, but make it look strong. I get it. I've done this a million times. And, it's like, Punk even says like, what do you expect me to do? Oh yes, I'm gonna go in there and just bury all of them. I'm gonna GTS all 3 of the guys at once. I'm going to knock all of them out. It's not even going to be close. It's going to be a 5-minute match. But even says that's the problem. It says this company is so micromanaged.
Yeah.
It's like here this guy's opinion and this guy's opinion. And Pokey like the best analogy to it. He says, look, imagine if you're a baseball player, and it's like a guy's on second base. And your team's down by 1 run, but there's 0 outs. It's the 9th inning, and the skipper goes, just hit the hell out of the ball. Just get the guy home. I don't care how you do it. Home run, base hit. I don't care. Hit the hell out of the ball. There's no outs. You can afford one out. He says, okay. They get told by the third base coach via hand signals, hey, bunt. And then the first base coach says, no, lean in and take a hit. And all of a sudden the batter's like, well, what the hell? I've been told by the skipper to do this, the first baseman coach to do this, the third coach do this. Okay, I can do either one of those. You know what's going to happen now? I do what the third base coach says. He's happy, but the first base coach isn't happy, and the skipper's not happy. So now I get pissed off, and all of a sudden I'm in their shit list all of a sudden. And they might try to screw me over in the future, maybe, because they remember when I was supposed to bat for this guy, I didn't bat for him. But he says that's how the company works in that. So he said that. I thought that was a funny story. He comment on Jericho. Because he did say that Jericho has responded. Because obviously, I think in the podcast, he did say, like, the reason why he doesn't talk to Jericho anymore is because I don't talk to guys with an agenda. And I think Jericho did respond and say, look, I only asked Punk once to show up on my podcast. It was in December. It's when he worked for the company. And Punk said, I don't want to come on. I have nothing good to say about pro wrestling right now. Which, there you go. There's a tease right there about what the guy felt in December. And Jericho said, okay, that's fine. We don't talk about wrestling. We talk about, the music, because we do like similar music in it. And Punk's like, no. And I'm like, okay, fine, And he says, I never asked him once, he said. He just wanted to clear the table there. But he commented on Jericho now because now Jericho's like trying to link this to what he did back in 2005. Because you remember in Jericho 2005, he left the company. His contract was up. And he didn't renew it. He left the company. And he was gone for 2 years. And at that point, he said, look, I had a mentality of I was done with wrestling. I had the same mentality that Punk has. I'm done. But and Punk even says, he's there still, Chris. You didn't get a FedEx of termination paper on your wedding day. It's kind of a special day in your life. And you're told you're fired from your job. I want to see you go back to Vince after that event happened. And I guess we can go into maybe kind of switch over slightly a bit to for a little bit to the Vince Austin podcast, which Colt did plug the hell out of, which makes sense because if you watch it, not only does Austin build up the CM Punk podcast, the interview. Yeah. He brings up that it was on Colt Cabana's podcast. He even says that it's Colt Cabana's Art of Wrestling podcast. He even says the name of the podcast that he was on too. I'm like, I'm sure that's what WWE wants here right now is a non-WWE wrestler getting his podcast plugged on WWE Network right now. Like in how Austin even said the word TNA when it came to other wrestling promotions, and as Austin says both, you kind of hear like a little grumble from Vince going, like kind of like a cough, like almost like saying, Steve, I don't want to hear this right now on my network. I really don't want to hear this. But Vince does apologize to Punk. He says that well, first of all, Austin says, do you want to talk about CM Punk? And he says, you know what, I will. I want to say this one thing. Because he says, and I don't want to address everything he says in the interview because I didn't watch it. Although he did say, he did use a lot of expletive, a lot of, I guess, bad words. And that's how he worded it, kind of. And he just said, like, but he said, I will say this, though. I want to apologize for the termination papers on the wedding day.
On the way, yeah.
He says, that was a coincidence. It was not meant to happen. So I was curious if Punk was ever going to respond to this here. Are you kidding me? And it looked like Punk was not going to respond to it originally, the Austin podcast with Vince. But then he just said, you know what? I'm sick of this on Twitter. He says what Vince said is bullshit. Yeah. He says, it was not a coincidence. A, because I texted his son-in-law
2 weeks
before the wedding. And A, my wife works for the company. She had to ask for off for the wedding and the honeymoon. So they knew about it. I don't want to hear that nobody in this company knew about it. Yeah. They knew about it. They knew it was on this date, and I don't hear a coincidence. Somebody owes us an explanation. And he says, and he actually goes as far as saying, look, I appreciate the apology, Vince, but that was not genuine apology. You said it on your network. It was a PR move. You said it in front of fans. You want to be a real apology? Call me up. You still have my number, I bet. I bet you can still text me if you want one as well. I know you can. Because your son-in-law was able to do it to me a while ago. And Punk even like went on a rant. Even said like, look, anyone even know why the company was even done with me even when I quit? You know, he said, look, I brought up constantly how I would be hurt, get surgery, and all of a sudden I get a phone call instantly from Vince saying, "Hey, I need you back." I got zero response as soon as I left the company. I might have got maybe a text, and then I responded to the text, and then nothing for like 2 months. I got nothing. I was suspended for about 2 months, and I didn't get any follow-up to, oh yeah, and after the 2 months, maybe you can work this and this. Because you know, post even meant, look, because I wasn't completely buried in the company at that point. The thing that really got me over the edge was when I got the FedEx in the mail on my wedding day. I'm like, you know what, that's it. Screw this company. Seriously. I wasn't going to sue, you know, well, he didn't say this too. He says, I never sued the company. All I did was I wanted a settlement. And he says, you know what? You want to know if the guys who keep saying I'm not in the wrong? You want to know why I'm in the right and they're in the wrong? Because they settled as quick as possible.
Man.
They knew they were on the right. They could have held this thing out as long as humanly possible until I eventually gave in to their demands. Yeah. They didn't. It was, so what are your demands, Mr. Punk, pretty much, you know, like. So once again, that's the reason why I'm calling it what Punk's saying most of the time in his interview. I'm saying, I believe him. Because why would they be settled if this is all bullshit coming out of his mouth here? Yeah. You know? So he says he's even proud of Del Rio. He is proud Del Rio got a settlement too. Because he deserves that money just as much as he does. You know, and he says he's even more happier because Del Rio now is wrestling. He's wrestling. Because in his settlement, he said, hey, this whole non-complete clause is bullshit. I'm an independent contractor. You can't tell me when I can't wrestle or where I can't wrestle for a certain amount of months. You can't do that to me, especially now that I'm terminated from your company. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, there was that. He brought about how on Thanksgiving, this is what happened. The podcast goes post. It gets fun up on Thanksgiving. Punk's doing, you know, enjoying his Thanksgiving with his family. He's eating, you know, turkey, you name it. Yeah. All of a sudden, he gets a text from The Rock of all people. You know, Dwayne Johnson's official Twitter feed. He gets a text, and the text goes, "Hey, I'm getting what?
No, nothing.
Okay,
that was a soundbite. That was
okay.
Just...
No, but he gets a call from The Rock all of a sudden, and he goes, "Hey, I'm getting a lot of bad feedback on my Twitter feed from your fans. Care to explain?" And it's like, yeah, sorry about that. I did this thing. I did this podcast posted earlier today. Explain why I left the company and that. And he says, I didn't really say anything bad about you, although I did mention about how I tried to lobby to fight you at Mania or something like that, but, you know, or how I didn't want to drop the belt to you. But besides that, I never really, like, fought, and even, like,
people take, I mean, so many people took so much of this, like, you know.
The only guy who he really, like, ripped on was Ryback. I never really heard, like, even John Cena. I mean, there was that whole Make-A-Wish deal they said, too, when it's like
they always promote how Cena, you know,
you know, Punk says I just made his Make-A-Wish as he did. And I said, okay, first of all, let's not over exaggerate that. I believe he did a lot. I don't want to say he did as much as Cena. Yeah, I do believe Cena does the most Make-A-Wishes in that company. I get that, and I do see his point where it's like you would think he's the only one who does it though. The only one who does a Make-A-Wish is Cena because that's all they advertise. He's the company guy. He's the poster child. Yeah. You know, but that was about it. But after that, I mean, hell, he even said, like, Cody even asked him, like, besides you, who else speaks of the Vince? He says, well, John does constantly. He said him and John did back and forth for a while with Vince, and occasionally maybe Randy would do it. That's about it. Everybody else is they're afraid to speak up, and they might get fired, maybe. Yeah. Or just get de-pushed. If they're gonna push, they don't want to get, you know. It's just we don't want to say it because I'm afraid I'm gonna piss somebody off, and then when I piss somebody off, they're gonna not gonna push me then. So, like I said, I mean, but so he just like, look, it was taken out of context. I didn't say anything bad about you and that. So, but he did respond like The Rock and that. But I thought that was kind of funny though.
Yeah, and listening to it, he didn't say anything. He just had some creative ideas.
He did, going back to the whole sponsorship deal, which is why he also believed that people in the office had a thing out for him. He gets a tweet from Wizard World and says, hey, we want you to work for 4 hours signing something. On this one day, and he says, "Great." And he says, "Hey, we're going to pay you 20 grand, 20,000 for it." and he says that's great. So he goes to the office and says, hey, here's this date Wizard World wants me to work and sign autographs for that. They're also going to pay me. This might be a new sponsor for us, maybe as a company too. And he goes to the office, and that's it. And all of a sudden, he gets told by Wizard World, Punk's been canceled. Daniel Bryan's going to be showing up. And he goes, no one told me. And all of a sudden, he calls the guy at Tower Relations, who he clearly hated, because he said, like, there's been like 5 different guys who worked at that job, and none of them were wrestling guys. And he says the one guy he talked to was a basketball guy. He used to work for the Boston Celtics organization, and he's running a wrestling company for Tower Relations. He knows nothing about what a bump is. He doesn't know any terminology for wrestling. It's almost like if he worked for the Celtics. He's not a basketball fan. He wouldn't know all the terminology for basketball players. Yeah. So what happens is that he calls the office, and the office person says, "Oh, well, we want you to work the Mexico tour that day." Okay, how many dates? Oh, 4 dates, and you're in the main event in all those ones. It says, yeah, it was him, Curtis Axel, wrestling like a street fight in 4 straight shows. And he says, okay, let me tell you something here. I was about to go to Wizard World for 4 hours. 4 hours just me sitting and signing autographs. I'm getting paid $20 grand. So I better be getting at least paid $20 grand for this year. And all said and done, he got paid. He got a check and said $5,000 for the 4 dates. And Punk immediately then said, and guess what? I'm going to have people on Twitter now saying, oh, I would have worked for $5 grand. And he said, great. Like Punk said, great. You can work for $5 grand. Great. Go to Vince. He loves guys like you who just will take whatever the company gives them pretty much and be happy with it. He says, you're Vince's perfect employee. And like I said, that's the thing I took these interviews too, is that it's clear Punk, no matter how over he was never going to be the company guy.
Yeah.
He's not the same as John Cena. John Cena would be outspoken backstage. I definitely believe when he says that, because he probably is. He has some power. He's power because he's the top guy. But all in all, he also will say, okay, within a day though, it's not my company. It's their decision. I don't think it's a bad idea. I'll just go with it though. Yeah. I said he's a company guy. He's not an outspoken CM Punk guy. He's a company guy. He admits that, I think, occasionally, or at least if he does it, he's doing a shitty job of not saying he's a company guy, pretty much. Here's talking about how actually there's another funny thing too there. Someone also tweeted him saying, I know you have like $20 million in your savings account total. You can't live off that. You're gonna go poor and broke. The Pope goes, wait a minute, $20 million? I can't live off $20 million for the rest of my life. He says, maybe you can't. Maybe you'd spend all of it and go piss ass broke. But even Coach's like, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's not even brought that out there too. Like, how's Pope's financial situation? And Coach says, look, if this guy had to, he could live off of $20. He really could. Yeah. Like, he doesn't need that much money to live. So that was funny. He talked about Slim Jim, a sponsor. Yeah. They went at one point. He met with Slim Jim. Without telling the company also, first of all. But he met with Slim Jim, and they said, hey, we really like you. We're big fans. And he said, better yet, we don't just want you to be a sponsor for Slim Jim. We want you to be the new face of Slim Jim. Kind of like Randy Savage. Yeah. Ooh, step into a Slim Jim. Ooh, yeah. Kind of deal. And Punk, and Punk's like a huge Savage mark, he said. So he's always like getting like giggly, like going, oh, this is great. I could be like the next Randy Savage in the company, probably. Man, the next face is Slim Jim. This is great. And he even said, like, he came back and he had like all these like Slim Jims in his pocket, like, because like, hey, take some stuff from you. All of a sudden, apparently Slim Jim calls the office and says, hey, we want to make Punk our official sponsor. And the office goes, no, I know you don't. No, you don't want Punk. You don't want Punk. And they say, do you know who you do want to be his sponsors, though? Rey Mysterio, Big Show, and Eve Torres. And I even remember that commercial because it was done for like tribute to the troops, I believe. Yeah, I remember something like that. But it's like even some just like, no, we don't want Eve Torres. We don't want Rey Mysterio. We want CM Punk. It's like, no, you don't. You want these guys. Trust me, these guys are more easy to work with. And it's like, and even for like the cover of the video game, I believe this is when this is 213 WWE. He gets called by Paul because Paul is actually writing storylines for WWE 13.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
And Paul goes on and says, "Hey, good news, buddy. They're gonna want you on the cover of the game, and you're gonna get a bonus for being on the cover compared to all the other talent that's gonna get royalties for being in the game." And he says, "Great." And I believe it was when THQ was still. It wasn't 2K. It was THQ.
Yeah, it was still. Yeah, it was the last.
The main developer.
Yeah, it was last. Just WWE 13.
Yeah, and I believe they call the main office and they go, "Hey, we want Punk to be on the cover." And they go, "No, you don't. You want Sheamus. You want Sheamus to be on the cover." It's like, "No, we want Punk to be on the cover of a video game." And it's like, "No, you don't. You want Sheamus."
Yeah,
it's like,
clearly Punk deserved it that year.
Yeah, but it's like at this point, Punk's like, clearly the office is out to get me. Clearly pissed off people on up top that they want to sabotage any little bit of good news that comes my way in that. So, like I said, that was all the things that happened really today for part 2. It's like I said, some big parts, not quite as big as
the first one.
As the first one.
Yeah.
Like I said, there were jokes there, like the whole Jurassic Park, watching that for the first time. But I mean, like I said, all in all, I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was well worth the wait. Another reason why I kind of do buy Punk a little bit too is the fact that this was free.
Right. Yeah.
He even admitted he could have did what so many other guys do in the past for these shoot interviews. Someone pays them money and then they charge and they like make a DVD and they charge it on the net and you got to pay like a certain amount of money to watch the DVD or download it online or something like that. So folks, I could have did that route. I don't want to because at the end of the day, I don't want to. As he said, I don't want to be the anti-WWE guy. I really don't want to be that guy.
Right, yeah.
He says, and he even said, like, this is it. I'm not talking about this anymore. No one's going to bring this WWE up anymore. I'm done. This is officially closure for me. And he even said, like, after last week, after the podcast, I felt better. Getting all that stuff out in the open, felt better.
Yeah.
And he said, like, so I'm done. He says, look, I got other projects I want to work on. And I am working on, obviously with Marvel now.
Yeah.
So like I said, so that was my take on the whole Punk deal. Like I said, obviously just one side to a story, but all in all, I mean,
yeah, it was definitely a round of applause worthy.
It was well worth the wait.
It was great, yeah.
I mean, because we get close to the 1 year anniversary of his walkout next month. So
yeah, that's right, Royal Rumble basically. Yeah. So yeah, it'll time flies, I guess.
Yeah.
But,
so I mean, all in all, I really did enjoy the joy I found. Like I said, I mean, obviously there's some stuff that we could say. Okay, maybe that was maybe a little over exaggerated a bit, but all in all, I mean, I really see no reason why the guy would bullshit really.
Yeah, and
especially since he won a settlement. I mean, if there was bullshit, sure, this guy was. That's the other funny thing about the settlement too. Like the lies they were saying, it's like they wanted both the company to say a non-disparage clause in the settlement, which meant you don't talk ill towards either side. And his lawyer goes, my client's been silent on Twitter, and the only person who's been talking ill is you guys.
Yeah.
And he says like, and he says like, when Stephanie said actually it was Payback in Chicago.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, well, Punk's a quitter. You like a quitter. And Punk and his lawyer going, my client didn't officially quit. He was fired. So I mean, yeah, we could do non-disparage clause. And when Stephanie shows up in Chicago in the ring and apologizes to the fans and saying, sorry, we fired the guy. He didn't quit.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, reading some comments from other people too. Like a lot of people out there, they don't understand. Like they're anti-Punk, and they this whole notion that CM Punk just totally betrayed WWE and everything is kind of BS.
Like I said, it said he didn't do it for the haters. He did it for the fans. He did it for the guys. And like I said, I even said the word quit. But like I said, I didn't know any of the facts either.
We didn't know. Yeah, exactly. We don't know everything.
Like, I mean, like I said, want me to jump the gun? There's a part of me I think after a while saying I don't think he's going to come out and say anything.
Yeah.
But then he did, and finally, then he said, Cole kept like saying like, "Are you really done with wrestling?" And he says, "Well, let me ask you this." And he says, like, "Look, if I say I am." And also I say, you know what? I want to do this show here. Then he's gonna say, oh, what a hypocrite! Like done. And it's like, so he says, look, 3 years down the line, who knows? Yeah. He says, as of right now, he doesn't see WWE in his future. He says that it's not even in the present. It's not even in his future. He said.
Yeah.
He says, but I don't know. Maybe he will work at the independent scene again. Maybe he goes with New Japan for a special event. Maybe might happen. Maybe.
Yeah.
But no, like I said, all in all, I thought it was a great. I actually thought it was a solid solid display of it.
Yeah,
A solid.
I did too.
I mean, I don't want to say shoot because even he said it wasn't a shoot, but he did shoot on Vince, Triple H, and Ryback.
It just naturally,
and Doctor. He did shoot on Doctor's.
He kind of said, I mean, before before he even went into anything, he said, if sometimes there might be some bitterness or whatever. That's part of life, and
yeah,
he doesn't intend to do this, but that's the raw emotion that came out. So, the way it just kind of flowed. So, yeah.
So if you haven't seen part 1, highly recommend watching that. Like I said, part 2 is really not as big, maybe because they don't do the Q&A like they said. Grant, if I had to read 10,000 emails, I probably would not do it either.
Yeah,
they do discuss things though. Like I said, the best part is clearly when he, I mean, he's pissed off that Vince that their fans even buying into Vince's whole coincidence deal. And anyway, I kind of bar on that too, but they're gonna also thinking, but wait a minute, isn't his wife employed? Wouldn't she have to take time off? Wouldn't they be aware of a wedding that day and the honeymoon as well?
Yeah.
So. And then Triple H actually sent a text to the guy.
Yeah.
So the fact that nobody knew, did Vince maybe not know about it? I mean, in his eyes, maybe, but that's kind of to put the company in a bright light. If the owner, the CEO, doesn't know jack about what the bottom guys are doing.
Yeah.
And by bottom, I mean like the bottom as far as tout relations and the legal team and so on.
Right. So, yeah, I guess that'll wrap things up for the Great Wrestling Debate today, the post-CM Punk podcast edition, I guess you want to call it. But, yeah, it was definitely important
I
get through all that.
I took so many notes. I probably should have organized them better, but, I mean, honestly, there were really, like, a few key points I just wanted to address. Right. Like I said, if people want to get a better idea what we're talking about,
look it up.
Just look it up. It's on. I think both are on YouTube.
The Cole Cabana podcast,
which is free. Art of Wrestling, Art of Wrestling, Cole Cabana. Type that. Google search that. That's a free podcast. You don't pay anything to listen to it.
$9.99 or anything to the WWE Network. So.
Actually, that was a joke too in the first one.
Yeah, he did.
Cole said, "Don't pretend like you don't know what the price tag." He says, "No, I really don't know what the price tag."
Yeah, he said $10.99 or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and yeah, again, check out the CM Punk podcast to get a better idea of what we're talking about if you haven't already. And send your comments, your thoughts. Subscribe to this channel for more great wrestling debate talk every week as always. So with that in mind, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next week on the Great Wrestling Debate.